Trade ministers zero in on what the region must do to rebound from the pandemic. CARICOM institutions collaborate to launch important energy facilities. Barbados Prime Minister wants more regional collaboration. And the region honors long-serving climate specialist. These are the stories in this week's edition of CARICOM News Time. I'm Michelle Nurse. Thanks for joining us. CARICOM Ministers of Trade met on the 26th and 27th of November to consider a raft of matters focusing on how the region could rebound from the COVID-19 pandemic that has crippled our tourism-dependent economies.
In a nutshell, what came out of the quartet was that we looked at the strategic pivoting of the region. And what it manifests itself in is a change in terms of financial inclusion, change in terms of digital transformation, change in terms of approach to the productive sectors. How do we nuance it? How do we drive employment? How do we reduce levels of unemployment? Yes, how do we deal with engagement, re-engagement of your markets? What are the emerging opportunities that come out of it? And the emerging opportunities is not just about what came out of COVID. The emerging opportunities came out of what are the CET suspensions that are being granted, and therefore the obvious mechanisms and opportunities that arise from that. What are some of the trade arrangements that we engage in with third countries? And what are the trading arrangements? What are the functional opportunities that came out of it? That is what, in a nutshell, is what came out of our quartet. And that's why we are happy with the outcomes of it, because what it heralded is the new normal and the transforming of our regional ecosystem to meet that new normal.
Ms. Onij Walrun, Guyana's Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, chaired the meeting. As activities to mark CARICOM Energy Month wound down in November, 2 CARICOM institutions launched facilities that are to serve as catalysts towards sustainable energy solutions in the region. The Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency and the CARICOM Development Fund launched the Project Preparation Facility and the Caribbean Risk Abatement Facility on the 25th of November. The Project Preparation Facility will provide technical assistance and advisory service support to private and public sector qualifying projects in renewable energy and energy efficiency to move them quickly to a state of bankability and investment readiness. The Risk Abatement Facility is intended to catalyze more lending for untapped opportunities in renewable energy. The CRAF is launched with a US $10 million initial capital base and will be rolled out in 2021 in Barbados, Belize, Guyana, St. Lucia, and Suriname. Featured speaker at the event was Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, who welcomed the facilities as she said they will aid in areas where there is a clear need. You can find the launch ceremony on CCCCC's YouTube channel.
We have today put before us 2 of the critical components that have been reflected as obstacles. A lot of the younger and smaller people who want to get into this industry have been confronted with the difficulty of what they're preparing and how they're preparing. And to that extent, the product being launched here this morning for the Project Preparation Facility is welcomed because it will aid in areas where there is a clear need. Similarly, the Credit Risk Abatement Facility is intended to make pure or holy that which is neither pure nor holy for the commercial banks primarily, and to a lesser extent for some of the investment banks for larger projects.
Even as she salutes the CARICOM Development Fund and the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency for working together on the energy front, Prime Minister Motley signals the need for strengthening the Caribbean community's framework to impose greater obligations for collaboration. She points out that energy was not in focus during the revision of the community's founding Treaty of Chaguaramas, but says there's the opportunity to get it right and to walk the talk, since time is running out.
But I want to salute these two regional organizations because I believe that their efforts are pushing the rest of the governments where we need to go with greater haste. Their efforts are pushing the rest of corporate Caribbean, whether small, medium, or large, to go where we need to go with greater haste. I'm not sure that we've served ourselves well enough also, because this is not an area on which there is great or sufficient regional collaboration within the context of the Caribbean community. And while I welcome, Dr. Jackson, your efforts, the truth is that I do believe that the CARICOM Secretariat, and in the context of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, that we may need to look back and see how we can strengthen the framework that will impose upon us greater obligations for coordination and for collaboration than currently exists within the community at this stage. For whatever reason, energy was pretty much not a focus of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas when it was settled. It is regrettable because energy, as it was contemplated then, was predominantly seen as fossil fuel energy. Energy as we must see it today for our own sustainability has to be on the basis of renewable energy.
She also calls for the sufficient capitalization of the CARICOM Development Fund, which was established in 2008 to provide technical or financial assistance to disadvantaged countries, regions, and sectors. Suriname celebrated its 45th independence anniversary on the 25th of November. In a congratulatory message, CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin Larocque praised the diligence, unity, creativity, and innovation of the people of Suriname. He told President Chantrika Prasad Santokhi that CARICOM looked forward to Suriname's ongoing leadership in the crucial areas of community development and cultural cooperation, for which Suriname has portfolio responsibilities in the CARICOM Quasi-Cabinet. Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali was in Suriname on his first state visit and celebrated the independence anniversary. During the state visit, Guyana and Suriname signed agreements for the construction of a high-span bridge over the Corentyne River linking the two countries. President Ali announced also the formation of a Guyana-Suriname Business Facilitation Unit to cushion the effects of the pandemic on the two CARICOM member states to ensure their economies are not left behind after the pandemic. It was a busy time for President Ali, as he had early in the month hosted a delegation from the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates is one of the top oil-producing countries globally and is expected to lend assistance to Guyana in oil and gas, among other areas. Guyana also welcomed the Foreign Minister of Brazil and a delegation late in November. On the 25th of November, the community honored Dr. KENRICK Leslie, one of its stalwarts in the field of climate change, who retired this year. Dr. Leslie was pivotal to the establishment of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center in Belize in 2004 and was its first executive director. As the executive director of the community institution, he forged regional and international partnerships, enabling the center to successfully pioneer significant programs to mainstream climate change in the Caribbean. In 2015, the center was the first in the region to be accredited to the Green Climate Fund, the largest global funding mechanism, which has enhanced the region's access to financing for climate change adaptation and mitigation actions. Heads of government and CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin Larocque were among those paying tribute to Dr. Leslie. For these and other stories, visit the CARICOM news site at today.caricom.org or the CARICOM website at caricom.org. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please continue to be safe, and see you next time.